Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we close out today's show in the first Saturday of the month. Hard to believe it's February the 2nd.
I know it.
It's amazing, isn't it? You know,
it just seemed like it
older
was
you get,
last year, just a few months ago.
Well, it was.
I don't know what y'all are talking about.
No,
it's been a long one for
me.
me.
This man knows it here because the deer season finally ended on Thursday. It went forever from back in September when the bow season started, right up till
all the way through, and got a little extension.
Yeah,
and
I know
it's Scott's way.
It thrilled our man here, Scott Stengel. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Larry.
All right, we're going to talk now. We're going to talk deer with Scott. He's the Stengel Brothers Outdoors Processing there near Laconia and Somerville, where I take my deer. And I've waited until for the last. Scott has loved this year so much that he's ready for a vacation. I know that. And
I'm ready.
What I would do, I would take you and your wife and drive up to Illinois and see the John Deere factory just to say deer.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk.
I'm going to Cuba.
Cuba, yeah.
Oh, I want to go to Cuba.
Well, I've been to Cuba Landing on the Tennessee Kentucky Lake.
I've been to Cuba Millington.
That's right, Cuba Road. Yeah. Let's talk about it, Scott. I know we've had our extended season. It's over. From your standpoint as a deer processor, what happened during that extended part of the season?
Well, it was really crazy. It was kind of a roller coaster. You'd get some days where you wouldn't see a soul, and then you'd get some days where you had a farm come in with 12, 14 deer that they've taken off a farm for different reasons, to meat consumption, to just getting them tested, to just it just varied, why they were harvesting the animals. But all in all, I think it turned out okay for the TWRA. I think they got the samples they needed. What they do with them, I think they're doing a great job, and I really think that they've got enough samples out of what they wanted. Hopefully they think that's enough deer to be eradicated at this time until they come up with some other kind of plan. But I think they're happy with it from what I've talked to them about it.
And you as a deer processor, how would you compare this year to last year?
It's not that far off with our numbers. It's a little bit off, but the kill numbers in the state were down anyway.
Yes.
And they've been progressively going down. We've talked about this several times.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Over the last 3 or 4 years, they've been declining, and I don't know if it's as much as the disease as it is just number of hunters, the weather. There's a lot of factors involved there. So I'm not going to blame it on one particular thing. I think that's just part of hunting and fishing. It goes cycles.
Well, that's what the duck hunters say right this year too.
They're crying too.
Yeah, they're crying too. And as Scott said, the earthquake is coming.
Something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen. The animals are disappearing, and he says that's the earthquake is coming. So I've been preparing.
Well, I joked about that, so don't take that.
Oh, if it does, man, you'll be a prophet. You'll be on TV everywhere. They'll be out there doing Oprah live with you.
That'll surprise a lot of the nuns that I went to Catholic school with. Hey, if I'm being a prophet, not single, I tell you, that will surprise them.
Now you've lost us. But anyway, from the end of the season, and we've been really close to trying to find out, and Dave has got some opinions about this, and he'll express that about CWD, and We've read about it. I've written about it so much. Chronic wasting disease. When it's now for you, you had to look forward to the end of this season better than you've ever done in all the years, because it's really put a cramp on all you guys that do this.
It has, and one of the sad things about it, we love seeing our customers. Don't get me wrong. We love it. It's just one of the times of year where you see these kids grow up, and you watch them grow over a 10-year period, and they become adults and hunt. Mm-hmm. But this year, there's just not been a lot of excitement in the hunting world. There's just nothing. It's been dead. It was really odd. I got a call about a week ago, and a customer of mine killed a piebald deer, and he was just excited, and it was late at night, and I gave him instructions on what to do, and I got off the phone and I told my wife, I said, Sandy, I said, that's the first excited hunter I've had all year. And that's just an oddity, you know.
It
and
is.
So that kind of explains it and sums it up. You know, everybody that come in the door they really had concern over anxiety.
They did.
You know,
yes.
it was different.
And Dave, you were talking on the way over to the station this morning.
Yeah, and what the only, and my opinion, and and it's mine personally.
Yes, it is.
That where I differ with the agency.
All right, tell us.
Now,
Scott,
and I kind of speak from other informed sources.
All right, it's your time.
It's my time. I would not tell people not to eat the deer.
Yes.
Because think about it. Let's lay all this out. Being, I have degrees in wildlife management, and you look at it like a biologist. Number one, it's been around since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
26 states and about 3 Canadian provinces. All the deer that's been killed since the 60s in these states, there's never been a case, can't jump barriers. It never can. Never a case has anybody ever contracted CWD. I have a son that's got a doctorate in infectious diseases. He got it from the University of Georgia. Mm-hmm. So he worked a lot close with the CDC down there. Mm-hmm. Of course, the CDC, every time it shows up, they're going to recommend not doing it. Not doing it. So I would recommend, if you see one staggering around, and not acting right, if you want to put it down, I would recommend not to eat that deer because it's nothing. But I can guarantee you in Fayette and Hardeman counties, since the sampling starts showing up, people's been eating CWD deer for the last 3 years. But
I agree with that.
So
not knowing it, yeah.
So, what I would say, is, and some of the news outlets were making, emphasize that it cannot be transferred to humans.
Yeah.
So if I was the agency, I would have said, okay, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, recommends that you do not eat a positive deer. But the CDC doesn't know wildlife. The disease control wildlife people at the University of Georgia for the Southeast. And it's just, if somebody had ever contracted one since the 1960s, this disease, the media would have been all over it.
Yeah.
It would have been all over it. So you got to take it, it's a knee-jerk reaction. Keep eating the deer, because, bone it out. You're going to have to bone it out.
Well, we do know that, and Scott knows this, that I've been told a lot of deer was just dumped.
Right, and that's what gets to anybody that's a conservationist, or if you support any kind of wildlife, and you just don't want to see those deer just laying and just nothing done with them. There's people out there that'll eat them.
Well, that's what I say, and this I respect Dave's opinion, and I respect your opinion. Everybody's got an opinion on this thing. And I think that Dave brings up some good points. You brought up some good points. My concern during all this time was deer that was not eaten, that could have been eaten.
Right.
And some people did not get the deer, whether it's a food bank or whatever it might be, because of this reaction. So it's an effect for a lot of folks. And, of course, they all look at, I got a lot of friends that process their own deer. So we don't know anything about them. You guys, the deer processors, have played an important part in this. And those deer that maybe have been checked last year or previous year could have had CWD.
Oh, right. Like Dave was saying, we've had it. We've been eating it for years. And one of the things that now that Dave's got me going, one of the things that really gets to me is we have a biologist in the heart of this hot zone, we call it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to mention him. Everybody knows it. He's been full time. Why did this not come out before then?
Yeah.
This has been checked.
Well, that's the thing.
There's got to be some kind of motive there, and we'll just leave that up in the air because I want to figure out and go into business again next year, and don't want to make too many people mad. But you see, there's more to this than that, you know. So, but we've got to treat it. We still got to. We got to tiptoe around it a little bit to make it better, if that makes any sense.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, and I think that I'm not saying I think that a lot of effort has been put into this, a lot of study over the years, but this is an ongoing problem. It's not going to stop anytime soon, and it's going to get worse, and that's what – but I just don't want to keep the hunters out of the woods. You know, I enjoy it too much.
The hunters got to hunt. If the hunters keep hunting, doing what they're doing, let nature work the rest of it out.
And don't sit there and just watch deer and think, I ain't going to kill nothing now. I'm just watching. You know, don't do that. Right. Scott, thank you as often for all your help during this past year, and good luck to you, buddy. I hope you get a vacation real soon, okay?
It's coming real soon.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Scott.
We'll see you guys next year.
All right. Bye-bye. Scott Stengel from the Stengel Brothers. Let me quickly tell you, and that's the way to end it.
February means Boat Show.
It's coming up. It's got a new name, the 56th Annual Mid-South Sports RV and Boat Show is coming out at the Agri Center the 15th through the 17th. We'll be talking more about that as you get ready. Mark those dates on your calendar. We're going to have a lot of boats and new RVs. They got the Davis Motorhome Mart there, which is all new. And then, of course, one of my favorite events is coming up on the February the 11th. What would that be, you think?
That's the Bird Dog.
That's the National Championship for Bird Dogs at Ames Plantation. They're going to have the drawing on the February the 9th, Saturday at Bryan Hall at Ames Plantation at 5. And then the first brace will go out Monday morning, February the 11th. We don't know all the dogs yet, but we're going to talk to Rick Carlisle. He is the superintendent at Ames Plantation, and he is the secretary-treasurer for the National Field Trial Champions Association. He's going to be on the show next week, and we'll get kind of a preview from Rick. He will not judge this year. Poor Rick, he's been calling him on that saddle. That horse is getting tired of riding him around, but he says he won't judge, but I don't believe it till I see it and everything. But that's February the 11th, opening day of the National Bird Dog Championships, and this is the 120th running of the National Champion. 120 years. Wow.
That probably
was you at the first one?
No, the second.
Oh, second one.
I missed the first one.
His horse is still there, though.
Yeah, my horse. The one horse I've ridden, the only horse I ride's in front of Kroger, and it costs $25. You know, okay, me and horses don't get along. You know that for a fact. So next week, Bill Cox himself is going to be in here for 2 segments as he ends his second 6-year term on the Board of Commissioners for the State Wildlife, and he's going to talk about his career. And then, again, we will talk to Rick Carlisle about the Bird Dog Championships, Lonnie Stanley of Stanley Jigs, the one and only Lonnie Stanley. And guess what's coming up? The Great Backyard Bird Count is coming up really soon. And we're going to talk to Pat Leonard of the Cornell Institute of Ornithology. I finally got that word.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, we need to talk to her.
Ornithology.
Ornithology. I got it now.
Yeah, this time of year.
Bird in the hand.
Don't ask me to say it again. You know, it's got too many syllables in there. Sure don't ask me to spell it. Even spell check doesn't find that one, you know. And we'll have, of course, Ron Wong and John Gordon will be in with us, too. Shelby, that's about it, isn't it? Shelby McCall pushing all the buttons today.
Keeping us straight.
That's impossible.
February 10th is my anniversary.
And February 10th is his anniversary.
56 years.
56 years. Poor Vicky. All right, yeah. Congratulations, February the 10th. And the Valentine's Day is 4 days after that.
That's true.
Y'all couldn't wait till Valentine's to get married?
No.
Huh?
No, we did wear red, though.
We did wear red?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Their daddy couldn't hold a shotgun at all.
That's right. He was nervous.
It was a shotgun wedding, right?
Yes, it was.
That's what it was.
I got a bang out of it.
All right, we're out of here on Outdoors with Larry Ray. As we always say, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what?
God bless the USA.